Welcome to the 80/20 show presented by your host, Jason Yee. Hello. Jason here from Train 2.0. How are you guys liking my Asian facial hair, half Asian facial hair? And if you're listening on the podcast, it doesn't look good, but it's fun to try out. So I'm Jason Yee. This is Train 2.0. The reason we're here is to help players who are struggling, who are not getting better, or who are getting blamed for not getting better, as if it was their fault. Give them the instructions that you need to unlock the magic inside to fully realize your potential as a hockey wizard. Ross, it has been a while. Thank you for bearing with me. I was in the trenches making some videos. We got some cool stuff coming up. We've got McDavid's breakaway guide coming up. We have how to do Crosby's edge work, where I point out exactly how to look like Crosby and skate like Crosby, and therefore protect the puck just like Crosby. And the best part is that if you start doing these things, you guys will be dominating very quickly. Ross, I didn't get your email. I'm sorry. Sometimes these things skip my inbox. So please resend. You can send it to jason@train2.0. My email is in the description. So today, I want to talk about an email I just sent out to my awesome followers. And we're talking about open source hockey sense. Now, I was listening to a book called Where Good Ideas Come From Steven Johnson. And the book was fantastic. It was really good. And they were talking about, and you guys know that a big part of Train 2.0 is harnessing the power of the internet and the technology that we have today to take a whole bunch of ideas, put them together fast, and then get them out to you for rapid feedback and then rapid improvement. So, my thing is dinging. Sorry about that. So there's like different parts and different levels that you probably want to have open source. And anyway, the whole idea behind the book was that good ideas and innovation come partly from can sometimes partly come from keeping things all secret and inside, and then in other parts, good ideas come from sharing and distribution and combining of ideas. So there's parts that I want to keep kind of secret, that the members, that us members can work on and share and innovate together. And then there's other parts where maybe it should be more of like a public good. And hockey sense, I don't think, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should close it up. Maybe I should not have it. You guys let me know what you think. But hockey sense would be one that a lot of people could contribute to using the if-then framework to create the magic formulas. And, because hockey sense is kind of basic. And what I hate to see is players that just simply don't have hockey sense because no one has ever showed them or told them, and because there's no resource. So I thought, let's harness the power of the crowd here. Let's harness the power of hi Ash. Shout out to Ash. Thanks for joining in. Let's harness the power of the crowd and lots of people to create the hockey sense if then. Now, this doesn't mean that we're going to see everyone have Sedin-like hockey sense that might be the next level. That's what the members of the Train 2.0 membership, the 80/20 club, that's what you might see from them. But I really like hate seeing players struggling with their hockey sense who, you know, like they just shovel pucks up the boards and or just throw it away or just do the wrong things because, you know, they're panicked, they don't understand hockey sense, they don't want to do it. And so you know, I'd really like to see the game of hockey come up to this point where everyone has, let's say, a decent level of hockey sense, and I think that this open source if then framework, magical framework for Wizards, for hockey Wizards, I think that might be a place where we can do that. So the idea is this: coaches can contribute to it. Players can contribute to it. Players can players can give their feedback back into it. It can be refined. We can cover a lot of different scenarios with the if-then framework. So that's the idea with that. So we'll see if that works. We'll see if it catches on. We'll see if people find it helpful. My guess is yes, people will find it helpful. And that's just my guess, because when I work with players all the time, I'm always going through this. It would be nice if players could just kind of go through and say, hey, you know, here's the point I'm struggling with. Let's see if someone's written up an if-then that makes sense for me. So we'll see how this goes. Like I say, this should be a public good, a way for people to learn hockey sense. In a way I don't think that's ever been done before. I could be wrong. Hey, maybe the community starts to add videos to it. You know, different stuff. Who knows? We'll see. It'll be fun to see what happens. But that's something I thought should be out there for players, and it would be too slow if it all just kind of had to filter through me. I thought it would be faster if everyone in the community is contributing to this. Okay. Ash, I'm glad you got Train 2.0 and that you're loving it. Thank you. There's nothing wrong per se with Power Edge Pro. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's like a glorified set of cones. And that's what it is. It's a bunch of plastic on the ice. Hey Nick, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, so I mean, like, to say that a set of plastic on the ice is going to make you skate like McDavid, I don't know. I don't really think that's the case. I think that McDavid's mechanics make him skate like McDavid. And everyone will, here's the funny thing in hockey, right? I can talk about mechanics. Yeah, you know, I'm sure. Here's why the Power Edge Pro is probably a good thing. But let me at first explain something interesting in hockey. I can say all these things about hockey, you know, hockey mechanics, right? But as soon as I talk about the special stick thing that I found, everyone lights up. Wow, the stick. Oh, you found a magic stick. Or I can talk about skating, but then I talk about profiling the blade, and everyone goes, oh, the profile of the blade. Or, you know, talk about ice pressure, but as soon as you mention pieces of plastic on the ice called Plastic Edge Pro, people go, oh, it's some plastic. You know, the real thing is the mechanics, okay? And some players are going to get better, you know, with the Power Edge Pro. And what you're really hoping for is that through skating around pieces of plastic, that you're going to get the magic mechanics. That's what you're hoping for. And in some cases it works, right? In McDavid's case, it helped, we can assume, right? And then here's the thing about the Power Edge Pro, if it brought out a bunch of NHLers, an NHLer comes to one of these Power Edge Pro session, one of these Power Edge Pro sessions, and now the Power Edge Pro built this NHLer. I don't know who Nick Quinn is. I should, but I'm very ignorant. Yeah, the Plastic Edge Pro. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that the whole point of it is to learn the magic mechanics, and and you might learn it, you might not. My take is, let's teach the magic mechanics. Let's give the cues for the magic mechanics, and then you can do great around the Power Edge Pro. And yeah, no, I think it's a great system. I think it's a great business. And you're right. It's going to help with things like puck placement. And the other thing that it's going to kind of force is ice pressure. Because you can't have inefficient movements around it, like stepping movements. You have to be very good at having your open hips and pushing into the ice. I think that's so it's an aid, right? But the main thing you're aiming for is the actual mechanics themselves. So it's sometimes people get confused with where the bullseye on the target actually is. Now here's another interesting thing regarding the Plastic Edge Pro, is that a lot of times the puck goes one way and then your body goes the other. Now in hockey that rarely happens, right? Like in a game. You don't see players kind of going through, puck going one way, body going the other. You don't see that anymore. What you mostly see is the puck and body moving together in a rhythm. So yes, there are times when the puck goes one way, the body goes the other way. But let's say 80-90% of the time, the puck and body move together. That's part of the rhythm. That's part of Datsyuk's Dangle by design. And, we can do Power Edge Pro all day long, but, if we look at how NHLers are moving and skating and controlling the puck, they do something a little different. I don't see McDavid kind of putting the puck between people's feet or going one way, putting the puck one way, and he goes the other way. What I often see is McDavid keeping the puck on his stick, hip scissoring around, and using his aggressive linear crossover speed to get around people. Yeah, it works on your hips. Yeah, you're right. Ash is saying it works on your hips. Yes, it does work on your hips. So do a lot of things, right? If I told you to do pivots around my iPhone, guess what? You can now, bang, it's working on your hips. Ross is saying you'll become a much better player if you learn the mechanics first and then introduce the Power Edge Pro, thus aiding the refinement of the mechanics. But if you have shit mechanics, then I can't see it helping much. Yeah, I mean, this kind of always goes. We're gonna show this to the Power Edge Pro people. This talk today, we're gonna show this to the Power Edge Pro people. And so, whenever I take these fairly logical stances, such as perfect your mechanics before you start tweaking your stick, or perfect your skating mechanics before you start using a training aid. And of course, it could work the other way. I don't know. But, sorry, I'm getting a lot of things here. This is gonna upset people. That's fine, right? My argument is that it's the mechanics first. Let's see here. Will I guarantee that if I learn all the formulas and magic mechanics this summer, will I be the best player in my city? Yes, if you learn all of them. Yeah, basically, you will be. Ever since he was 10, he's been using it. He's used it and nothing else. How else could he be so good? Well, Ash, your reasoning is solid, but it unfortunately is not scientific. Neither is most of Train 2.0. But let me explain the science behind what I'm saying. So if we're going to make a conclusion such that the Power Edge Pro caused McDavid to be so good, then we need a control. Now, a control doesn't exist. It's impossible to have that exist. What I mean by a control is we need to have McDavid with the Power Edge Pro and McDavid without the Power Edge Pro, and we need to chart their development and see what would happen. Sorry, guys. I got a nice comment here from Third Eye. And I apparently have a third spiritual eye, and I'm gonna wake up, and so I will check the channel to awaken my third spiritual eye. So thank you very much for for that encouragement. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, in order to make a scientific claim or any sort of claim that anything caused anyone, we would need a control. And that doesn't exist. So, hey, let me be very clear. It might be that the Power Edge Pro created McDavid, or it might not. I don't know. No one really knows. But I would suggest that you should do the Power Edge Pro and learn the magic mechanics. I don't see people who have the magic mechanics or who are automatically learning the magic mechanics. Anyway, Ash, I am in Vancouver. Yes, I am. And that's enough of that discussion. That was fun. I know this will probably invoke some wrath from the Power Edge Pro people. Anyhow, self-promoting, not sure what you mean, Ash. But, yeah, so. Yes, I do. The question is, do I have a hockey camp on ice? Yes, I do. It's quite private, by invitation only, it actually takes place in Victoria. And then I do some one-on-one coaching in Vancouver as well. Anyway, I want to get back to the open source side of the if then and hockey sense. Hey, I see where your bias comes from now, Ash. Okay, so anyway, open source hockey sense if then. I'd love to see you guys contributing to that, using it, letting me know if it's helpful, telling me if it's junk, and that's what I'd love to see from you guys. Thank you guys for watching and listening to that part. And my next question is, do I think Red Bull Crashed Ice is a good sport for hockey balance? I don't know. It seems like a dangerous way to find out. Sorry, I'm finding that funny. Yeah, I'd say Red Bull Crashed Ice is a dangerous way to find out if you have good hockey balance or good training. But I'm sure it'd be fun. I'm sure it'd be really fun. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate all the questions. Thanks, Ross. I appreciate that. you like the idea of the document. I'm glad. Please, the link's in the description here, so feel free to check in on it, update it. You know, a lot of people, I get asked the if-then stuff all the time. It feels like it shouldn't just be me that's contributing to it, and you know, the keeper of that. Yeah, perfect. Good. Yeah, and if you have any, if you, and then like another cool thing to do too would be like if something's not on there that you want filled out, is just to put the situation in there, right? And then let the community fill it out, or basically when I get around to it, I can fill it out too. But it takes, like, I'm doing quite a bit with Train 2.0 here, so I want to start putting back a bit so that we can keep the momentum going. And hit me on the question there, Ross, and then I better take off. Should I do something on the Power Edge Pro and TJ Oshie? Yeah, maybe. Hey, it's funny you say Marchant, because a Marchant goal scoring breakdown is on its way. Yes, Marchant is on his way. Oh, yeah, so Ross, yeah, that's my cell number in North America. A good way is just Facebook. If you sent me a Facebook message, you can do so straight from train2.0.com, or if you like my page, or DM me on Instagram, slide into my DMs. How to Slewfoot? Okay. Okay, Open Source Hockey Sense will leave it with that. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Hey, and if you're watching now, if you want to re-listen to any of this stuff on the podcast, you can check out, I think there's a link below. If not, I'll add it. You download the podcast on iTunes. It's the highest rated and most downloaded hockey coaching podcast in the world. So check it out. Thanks for watching today, and see you later. Thank you for watching and listening to the 80/20 Show, hosted by Jason Yee. Be sure to check out more at Train 2.0